We might not be. I don't know. Good evening, Gotham. Good evening, Metropolis, Emerald City, Xanadu, Babylon, to the ISS, and the rest of you. What are we? It is 1 a.m. in New York, Buffalo, New York, where we'll start the headlines, or we may finish them there. I haven't decided yet. 8 a.m. in Kiev. It is 3 p.m. in Tokyo, and it is 10 p.m. to everybody in Orange County, in particular Laguna Beach. Quite an interesting situation with the wildfires, isn't it? Um, all right, so good evening, good morning, or good afternoon, as the case may be. I'm Scooter. Why does this look wrong? Because the sticks are in the wrong place since we went and did the fire last week. Important safety tip. If you move the tripod, you should mark it before you move it. Thank you for finding the number one podcast nobody knows about and fewer people watch, let alone like or share. Oh, dear God, we couldn't be responsible for that. FEMA Region 4 is responsible for the reboot of ScooterMcGee.com. I was informed earlier today by a snitch, a rat, a whistleblower, a good American who saw something and said something. Yeah. All right, so it's up. Haven't done much with it, but it's working. Well, like our current administration, they're all work. We're working on it. Well, it's a work in progress. Um, they're going to brief me in theory Sunday, May 15th. This is Saturday, May 14th. In theory, in the next 24 to 96 hours, I'm going to get updates and videos and tutorials on what I'm to do next. Your job is to go look at scootermcgee.com, proofread it. West Korea. All right. So this is the end of Notebook 1. No, this is Notebook 3. So it's the 14th to the 15th. We're argumentatively in a 96-hour launch window. We're day 76 to day 80. Because the initial notes of this project from February 24th are in here. And they started on one legal pad. And then we got into a book. We ripped through that in 30 days. So this was in March. I got green because it was St. Patrick's Day. College. It's a college notebook. It's a 3-subject notebook. When I used to fall asleep in high school, I used to dream about these for college. It's now full. I'd like to point out it's not in here, but it's in here. Hey, they're reporting there's a shortage on baby formula, meaning it's been more than 30 days. Yeah. It was in the first 3 weeks after February 24th and the start of the crisis in Ukraine. Okay. Thank you to former sponsors of the Scooter McGee Show who humored this project. This project will conclude at day 90. Thank you to Silver Mountain Jewelry and Pawn, of course. They're getting better. Super Dave Frazier is a high pressure system is about to swarm into Lodo, and to Greeley West Side Liquor for the Joe Twin Towers of Booze. See, they're still full. No, we did not crack the Jose Cuervo. I gave that for graphics. Gave away one signed bottle. Oh, sorry, back. Thank the sponsors. I would like to thank the 3 people who decided to support me on Patreon. Apparently, unbeknownst to me, they're going to give me a lesson in this. I'm supposed to lock videos down so you can't see them unless you pay for them. Not a good business model. I know I'm emotionally bankrupt, spiritually bankrupt, societally bankrupt, and financially bankrupt. Did I mention morally? Probably not. But the purpose of the internet is to freely exchange information. not make people pay for it. So if you choose to support this project in the next life form that it becomes, because if I do one more cooking video, somebody's going to lose a ladle. All right? Barbecued brownies on the grill. Scooter, are you all right? No! You know he's baking again, but this time on a barbecue. Because the difference between a Weber kettle barbecue grill and a stove is what? You manually have to continue to supply fuel to the fire. Big effing deal. That's gross. Your brownies taste like charcoal. No, they don't. Sorry, they don't. All right. Thank the sponsors. We thank those on Patreon. We'll get to it on this day in history for 5/14/2022. Looking back in time, I may have something to say in a shallow moment. Before Easter, I pointed out the weather and where the next surge in violence is. I was wrong. I pointed out because of proms and all of that. No, just another Saturday afternoon erupted in violence, tragedy, and horror. In upstate New York, I've been joking, and I shouldn't. I joke out of respect to names like Don Carlo, Uncle Momo, and obviously a fictitious Uncle Alberto, being Albert Anastasia. Boy, the mafia news this week kind of got buried on Wednesday, didn't it? Yeah, it did. You know, the economy's in the Pishadoo, and we can't talk about a society that's being run by a bunch of drunken monkeys on acid because that may appear to be racial. The first all black Mount Everest team is now hit the summit and is now ascending back to base camp. Okay. You know, the first black lesbian press secretary will start, yeah, starts on Monday. What time does Rachel Maddow exit stage left of her daily program for, oh, that's right, May. It's May. Conflict of interest. Remember when we were going to have the emergency summit regarding the war in Ukraine and Jen Psaki had to stay behind because she was a victim. She tested positive for COVID. I do miss Uncle Momo. If nothing else, back in the early 70s, to get a $20 bill for a get out of my way, kid, you bother me, Merry Christmas, go away. Just imagine if the White House and your leaders treated you like that. You'd wake up pretty quick, wouldn't you? You know, this baby formula shortage could go on the rest of the year. That's 7 months. I bring up anniversary syndrome. Next week, I will be off social media because of the events that unfold in Hennepin County, Minneapolis, 2020. The events that are simultaneously, they're organic, peaceful protests. Uh-huh. Where they're dispersing CS gas. Okay. I'm just down here to meet with a lawyer. Wow, look at the time. We should get to some headlines. Okay, let's do that. Let's not and say we did. How about some glasses so I can see? Sponsors, yes, thank you. Bye. Done. 90 days. Today 5/14. Yes, on this day we'll get to it. Shallow moments question mark? Probably not. Wasted too much time. Here we go. Anybody catch last night's Celtics Milwaukee or Boston Celtics Milwaukee Bucks game? Oh, you missed that. Well, there happened to be another mostly peaceful gathering after the Milwaukee Bucks were defeated by the Boston Celtics. What is that, game six? I don't have the games. If I were still a degenerate gambler, I would have known that. Yeah, yeah, I think it was game six. It doesn't matter what game. Bucks lost at home. Ah, good. The mostly peaceful losers are celebrating their loss of, whoa, wait till they win in Milwaukee. Watch the carnage there. 17 people wounded, curfew now in place for the remainder of the weekend. Hmm. Mostly peaceful protests regarding the SCOTUS leak, Roe v. Wade. Even idiots are pointing out now. It kind of looks like a staffer. Why would the conservatives leak? No, this really looks like somebody from Sotomayor's staff. What part of the royal house of Sotomayor did you guys miss? Day one of the leak, which is a lie. It was in the first 24 hours of the leak that Scooter Damas said, well, here's the justices. See, I'm no longer a licensed PI. You're not allowed to make deductive or surveillance. I'm not conducting surveillance. I'm making an obvious statement. Briars didn't fall on his sword. He's not going out like that just popped out of my head. The Pentagon Papers. Daniel Ellsberg. He's not going out like Ellsberg. Kagan. He's not smart enough. I don't mean it like that. I mean, not smart enough to have the staffers that radical. Speaking of radical, oh, mamma mia, sopapilla, there she is, Justice Sotomayor. Nah, Justice can't, because they either got to pack the court or destroy the court. It's it's a staffer. It's got to be a clerk or a staffer inside the House of Sotomayor. Uh, mm, Clarence Thomas, a little bit of social media going on right now out there about an 8-minute video clip where he discusses this leak and what it has done in the first 2 weeks. Not 2 weeks, because it's Tuesday. So in the first 12 days. I say that because tomorrow morning, all the Sunday talk shows, the shows they did on Friday are worthless because we are touting. Oh, sorry, the abortion. Yes. So simultaneous organically peaceful protests regarding Roe v. Wade continue to pop up across the United States. Politicians now having to point out, yeah, going to their house might not be a good, yeah, because it's a violation of Criminal Code 18 section. I'm sorry, I'm not a lawyer. I'm a high school dropout. You don't show up at a justice's house, a Supreme Court justice's house to make your point. You're under 24-hour a day surveillance. Why aren't you in prison? Well, you can't go to due process. Great. Well, you're in jail on no whole bail till we get a psyche value on you. Are you out of your mind? No justice, no peace. Our body, fuck you. Wow. Okay. So now that the Supreme Court leak has created all of these organically mostly peaceful protests, well, Antifa is now showing up at some of these protests over the SCOTUS leak. Um, Women's groups are calling this the summer of rage. Oh dear God! As a someone who identifies as a pregnant Irish black rapper and a victim of domestic abuse, I mean, true story. I would never repeat in court, but Uncas tried to knock. Well, you deserved it. It doesn't matter. What did you? I right there in the hallway. I just have to go to work. Why do you always want to start a fight on a Friday night when you know I got to go to the club and be fluffy like this stupid? Ow! Why'd you hit me? A summer of rage. If you didn't keep Uncas happy 24/7, 365, well, she might become calm. Calm might suggest anger to rage. Keep them ignorant, keep them in bliss. I never suggested, honey, that you are ignorant or in bliss. Back to your notes. So the summer of rage, as women's groups are now calling this summer, we're not going away. We're gonna, of course not. The minute you figured out how that clock worked on the stove, um, we're not going away. It's our body. It's our choice. Hey, that's really good as cities are continuing to hype up COVID again. And there's a potential another surge of 100 million Americans being infected. And the booster's efficacy may or may not be in question. But don't worry, we'll have one ready for this fall because we're preparing. The Pussy Hat Patrol is back. The Pussy Hat Brigade. You remember when you first saw him in January of 2017? After the evil Donald Trump stole the election from Hillary. Suddenly, organically across the United States, a million plus of these crocheted pussycat hats arrive. Yes, the Vagina Patrol, here they come. They're back. And they've allied with Antifa. Oh, what could possibly go wrong here? And like North Korea, how do you starve their people into submission? Let's scare the mothers just to death. Yes, baby formula. You're not going to be able to get it till maybe next year. White House is working on it. They've been working on it for months. They're always working. Alejandro Mayorkas is always working about your protection at the border. Approaching 100,000 Cuban nationals now in the United States. We won't know till the end of the month. First quarter was 80,000. Projections of 12 to 15,000 may have jumped slightly. Problem in Cuba is one thing, but Haiti and the Dominican Republic, tourists can still fly into the DR. Yeah. Hey, we have a little about, Scooter joked about the Mariel boat lift. Yeah. Why are all these boats with Haitians suddenly showing up? Oh, what a surprise. Oh, right out of the playbook. Had we created the war.cube or whatever, the Trivial Pursuit version of this, we'd have had a boat lift card. Like the Illuminati card game? Another Muriel boat lift. Well, of course, if Bong Bong Marcos is in charge, we need we're going to need we can't have a Cuban crime wave. That's a horrible thing to say. We called it the Muriel boat lift. Okay, well, stand by for what is the name in Haiti? I should remember this. Stand by. Let my memory banks. What is the capital city of Haiti? Shit. Shit. You know, if this show were funded by the Clinton Foundation, they'd be talking to me in my ear right now. Hillary'd be cackling. Thank God this isn't sponsored by them. Okay, Buffalo, against my better judgment. Um, Interesting on my social media from scootermcgee.com on my Facebook page, local KDVR 10 o'clock news reporting 13 dead. Was it originally 8, then it was 10, and suddenly 13. Oh, what a good Illuminati number, huh? So 10 or 13 as of 11:19 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 5:14. It's being reported the shooter is an 18-year-old. He's out of Conklin, New York. He traveled hours to get there to a safe space in a highly densely populated persons of color neighborhood. The zip code? Yeah. Oh, using the internet. He allegedly may or may not have published a manifesto. Oh no. Sources can't confirm that he streamed the shooting online on Twitch. 18-year-old white supremacist out of New York. Hmm. He had a ballist. He had a tactical gear. Oh, okay. He had a tactical vest. Retired police officer working as a security guard. Because the economy's so piss poor, even when you retire out as New York cop, you need to take on another job. Shots failed because he was wearing a tactical vest. He also appears to have been wearing a ballistic helmet that allowed for a camera. We don't know if he streamed it online. Huh. How about the 20 to 22 people who follow this idiot? Social media was, yeah, you didn't say Twitch, huh? You want everybody to think that he streamed this on Facebook? Is that what you're trying to do? Okay. The published manifesto. I also found it interesting at the press conference. We have the police chief, and we have the sheriff, and we have the mayor. And why are members of Congress here? We're waiting for the governor. She's on a plane flying back to. I see. Okay. The sheriff calls it pure evil. They believe it's racially motivated. So far, 2 rifles. One with the N word written, scratched, spray painted, sharpied. He named his AR the N word. It's a rifle. We haven't decided if it. You're talking about automatic weapons. A witness said they heard 70 shots. Really? 70 shots. Well, a Mossberg 500 holds how many rounds? Mm-hmm. He's wearing bandoleros that have all of the slugs to. Okay. There's another rifle. Witnesses claim it was an automatic weapon. I see. Okay. The mayor says this is the worst nightmare that could take place. Here it comes. They're working. Good. They're thanking everybody at the press conference. Remember when the Republicans offered hopes and prayers, and even the media were making fun of the Republicans? It's all they have are hopes and prayers for the victims and the families that we're communicating with and we're working with. Uh-huh. I smell some gun control legislation coming down tomorrow's talk shows on 515 and the talking points of talk radio on 516 of, well, so much for your good guy with a gun in a public area. I'm sorry, back to New York. Hey, where is the mayor on this? Oh, New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Yes, we've heightened our security level here in New York City, and we're protecting our highly predominant the black people who don't trust the cops. Now you're going to put everybody in all their armor gear. Oh, what could possibly go wrong? Copycats? We haven't even gotten to the copycats yet. No, because a Sunday, oh, this sucks and swallows. Of course, it happens on a Saturday afternoon. Otherwise, what would be normal for you to just go about your day? Download our app so you can find out how you can be safe. Okay. Wow. Look at the time. My throat's sore and we got to get on this day. So here, let's go to today's date, 5/14. Again, special shouts to Greeley Westside Liquor, who deliver all the booze that you'll ever need to Greeley and Evans, and to Silver Mountain Jewelry and Pawn, who, in their past life as City National Pawn, was always very kind to the Scooter McGee Show. We'll leave it at that. La 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 la. I miss the good old days. Thank God the science hasn't changed. Science is science, and science is what we tell you. Because it's on this day in 1796, 5/14, 1796. Edward Jenner, not to be confused with Caitlyn Jenner, administered the first vaccination against smallpox. It is today, 1804. I'm lucky that I had a family that appreciated history. It was an interesting trip to take of the Gen 4s with the Gen 3s, um, and the core of Discovery, retracing Lewis and Clark's. Oh, dear God. Circumnavigating Ireland wasn't torture enough. Now you're going to drag the kids around for a summer following Lewis and Clark's expedition. It is today, 5/14, 1804, that they embark on their historic journey. It is 1973 Skylab, now in the news. She is launched into space. 1984, Zuckerberg is born. A year after Zuckerberg is born. That's frightening. Today, 1998, I know exactly where I am. I am standing in the intersection of 20th and Market Street in Lodo, Denver. It is dark. It is ominous. I am noticing in all four directions of 20th Street and Market Street, one block from 20th and Blake, nestled in the shadow of Coors Field in the bosom of Lodo. Every nightclub is open. There's nobody on the streets. You can fire a cannon in every direction and not hit another living Christian soul. It goes from dead silence to laughter to silence to laughter to silence. Why the are we open? They're all inside watching Seinfeld, the finale. As of this date, 5/14, 1998, I still haven't seen a single episode of Seinfeld. I can't understand. I'm the numbers guy. Memory serves, it's a Thursday night. Why are we open in Lodo at this hour? The baseball is nonsensical. There's no money in it. They're watching television, a show about nothing. What the am I missing? Why am I talking to myself downtown with, again, all the way to Larimer Square, all the way out to I-25, all the way back up to Broadway? There isn't a living Christian soul on the streets. And that's it. I'd give you the good one, but you wouldn't believe me. It is today, 5/14, 1948, of course, the Declaration of Israel's, statehood. Because there was a prophecy back then about something or another, and I don't remember, and I don't know. And I don't know why I appreciate that you've let me waste 30 minutes of your time. I'd like to apologize. If you'd like to make a comment, an insult, a veiled threat, that's fine. If you appreciate the idea, like and share it. This was a beta test. Again, this war goes on for decades. Well, this show can't unless it is viewer funded. and I'm not going to do that. If you guys want me to and you want to fund it, then Patreon open or scootermcgee.com. There might be a donate or a Venmo link or some. I don't know. I haven't been there yet. It's just one of you snitched me out that hey, dude, your site's. Oh, dear God. And I put the, and I was, they're like, what's wrong? I went, I got bad news. What do you mean bad news? It's up and running. Oh, and they, all right, read it to me. And they started to, and I went, okay, stop. I don't feel well. You don't look well either. I know it's the hair. It's the fluff and Grizzly Adams. Okay, so we're done. We're good on this day. No shallow moment. Yeah. Oh boy, I'm so glad they're so close in Buffalo to Albany that we're going to be able to get some legislation yanked out of a drawer quicker than we had the legislation at the Senate and the Congress regarding abortion here on Wednesday. A bill that failed miserably. Legislation that was going to protect the women all the way through the annals of time. And you voted on it, and now you prepare because we're going to rage war. The 18-year-old white supremacist and publishing rhetoric. I know, a manifesto. Excellent question. What will we call all these notebooks? Sir, those will be called evidence. Ah, okay. Well, at least we're clear. We will see you Sunday. I am going to encapsulate against my better judgment before I put this one to bed. We will go through all of the notes, including the jokes, including the shallow moments. I'm not going to read them all, but I will skim all 100. It's 117 of the 120 pages. And it started on 3:30 was this notebook. It is 5:14. That is a wrap. Good night or good morning or good afternoon. Be well, be safe, be leery of the headlines, and be subscribing to me on YouTube. Subscribe to me on Rumble. Follow me on Twitter. Chat with me and poke and nudge and do what you do on Facebook. And you can find all of those links now conveniently at scootermcgee.com. Thank you, FEMA Region 4, and thank all of you who put up with my nonsense. We'll see you next time.